Beautiful manifestors, it is Olivia Grace and I'm back with another video. And before I get into the video, I just want to set the intention that everyone that comes across this video is uplifted, that it brings them closer to their desires and closer to knowing their true selves, that something wonderful happens to them, and that this video just really resonates with whoever that it touches. And yeah, that this is a positive experience for all of us. So after that, I want to encourage you guys to subscribe, to like the video, to comment. All of that is just helpful in assisting this like collective shift that everybody's going out or going through, and getting this message out to other people that it could be helpful for. So I have all kinds of links in the descriptions. I have free distance healings and free guided sat scenes or guided visualization scenes that you guys can check out. And I'm also hosting a retreat, an in-person retreat in February. It's going to be in Atlanta. So you guys can let me know in my email that's also in the description if you want more information. So today we are talking about making manifestation 10 times easier. And you guys, like, if you guys really can understand this, things really, like, I'm not even like clickbaiting you when I say that things will change instantly for you, okay? Because the thing is that we are simply, hi Silver King. I rarely get guys in here, so that's cool. What's up? So we are, I literally just lost my train of thought. But we're talking about making manifestation simpler and easier. So we are going through states. That's what I was about to say. We are moving through states. And sometimes when we find ourselves, and when we say states, let me even just stop there because I think that could like use some elaboration. When we're talking about states, we're talking about states of consciousness, right? Like Neville has his own way of explaining that, but it's also just talking about the state of consciousness that you are. A simple way to understand this is when you, before you knew anything about manifestation or controlling your reality or anything like that, you were in a certain level of consciousness, right? You were still conscious, aware being, but you were not fully aware of what's really going on around you. Now coming into manifestation and realizing the role that you play in your reality is another state of consciousness, right? But there are infinite states of consciousness that you can travel through, right? And the higher states of consciousness that you go through, the easier that things are for you, the more that life is flowing. Really, the higher states of consciousness that you go through, the closer that you're getting to that God consciousness or Christ consciousness or the oneness with the all, which is extremely supremely intelligent. And it has also a lot of ease and flow, which is gonna like coincide with what I'm talking about today. So like, now we're going through states, right? So that's where I started. And when you find yourself in a lower state, right, which is, a lot of people can find myself, oh my God, I'm spiraling, or it's been even weeks or months, and I've just been feeling down or depressed, even years maybe. But that is simply a state of consciousness, right? And you can instantly, truthfully move out of that state of consciousness, right? Now, when you move out of the state of victimhood, of everything's happening to me, bad things are happening to me, when you move out of the consciousness of disempowerment, right? I can't do anything, I'm trying so hard, nothing is working, or even the state of being empowered, but feeling like the power is all on you, right? And this is something that my guides have really been like talking with me about, and where like this message all came together in what I'm talking about today. So like when you like, what I want you guys to do right now, and this is what I did that really kind of brought this epiphany to me, is I want you to first of all realize that you are God expressed, right? You are the all, right? Being expressed through this avatar, through this being, right? And more than that, if you're on this channel and you're watching this video, you're aware of that, right? Because everybody is that, but only a few of us are aware that we are that, right? So when you think about that, you're knowing, okay, I am this higher being as this human on this earth right now. But now I want you to think about like outside of yourself, like if there was a God, or even think of it as yourself, if there was someone who descended from heaven or descended from, whatever, and comes down like a magnificent being, they come down and they're living earth life, right? They know that they're a magnificent being. They know that they are all powerful, and they come down and they're living their life on earth. How do you think that they would go about living their life on earth? And more importantly, how do you think that they would go about manifesting, right? How do you think that their life would be unfolding for them, right? Do you think that a god or goddess that descends down and knows I am literally the all like embodied right now would be like, oh, I need to do this method or this technique to get this thing to come to me? Or do you think that they would be like in longing for anything or anyone, like, oh my God, I need somebody to, I need somebody to want me or like me or to validate my experience or validate my love or my worthiness, right? Or I need the specific dollar amount to validate my worthiness. Like, how do you think that they would be thinking about their desires? And this is like, okay, this is coming through for me to say, so I'm just gonna say it. And y'all, if y'all watch me, y'all know I go off on all these tangents, but it all comes together. But if you like, see, and I just lost it. Like, I need to just speak it when it's coming instead of like second guessing myself, because I'm trying to stay on the track of what I'm saying, but it'll come back. So anyways, you're coming, like when you're seeing yourself as a god or goddess, like walking the earth, how do you think that you would go about manifesting your desires? And now it came back. And this is how you shift identities, right? Because so many people are like, well, how can I shift my identity from this to that when so much evidence of that, of this is in front of me, right? So much evidence of who I've been being is in front of me, and it's reflecting what I don't want, right? And how you shift your identity is that you become that in the face of this, right? You become the identity, the version of yourself that is that you're wanting to be in the face of that, right? So let's take money, for instance. You're broke as fuck, but you want to be abundant. And you're like, but how do I embody the abundant version of myself when I'm broke as fuck, right? Shouldn't I need to be abundant first before I can embody that energy, before I can reflect that energy, right? But it's like, no, you in the state of being broke as fuck, you take on the identity of being abundant. You take on the perspective of being abundant, right? Now, let's take this a step further and tie it into what I'm talking about, which is you taking on the state of being this magnificent being that you are, right? Now, when you think about whatever it is that's a problem for you, or it's an obstacle for you, or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, right? You're not trying, like, that's the other thing. Like, that's the thing about, like, that's so important of this video for you guys to understand, is like, you guys know we're going through this collective shift to a higher plane. Everybody's talking about 5D, right? It's a state of consciousness. It's not a place that we're going. We're not going to like zoom out of here on, I don't know, hot air balloons or something, or have like a little umbrella like carry us up into another dimension, right? It's a state of consciousness that you're in. But remember what I was saying in the beginning of this, that in the higher states of consciousness that you're in, the less amount of effort and trying that's required for you to manifest what it is that you want, right? It's more of an ease and flow and allowance of life to kind of flow through you. It's also, though, a knowing that because of who you are, what you are, that things are automatically going to work out for you, right? And what that requires is a lot of trust, right? It's a lot of trusting in the unseen, which is a big, like, I want to use the correct word. It's a big kind of like roadblock for a lot of people in the manifestation community, of like not like only being able to trust in themselves, only being able to trust in their action, right? And like, there's nothing wrong with trusting in yourself, but only being able to see, not being able to, not, not being able to see beyond what you physically can do. Right. And so you're putting all of your manifestations up against, well, what can I physically do? Whatever I physically can do is the only way that I can get results, or the only, like, whatever I can physically conceive of is the only thing that's going to get me results. Right. And so you're acting like that you're assisted, you're supported, right? That all that is supporting you and moving you into what you want. And so instead of trying to micromanage your life, right? Instead of trying to, like, okay, I'm manifesting this area of my life. Okay, I'm focusing on this area. Okay, now I'm focusing on this area of my life. I'm focusing on, okay, now I'm focused on this area. Like going through all of the problems and trying to figure out all of your problems, trying to make everything happen. What I'm inviting you guys to do, and what my guides invited me to do, is to simply focus on raising your consciousness, right? Raising your level of consciousness. Like, that itself is going to put you in a higher reality, right? When we talk about shifting parallel realities, you're going to be in such a higher reality. Hi, Sarah. You're going to be in such a higher reality, right? That things are going to be automatically drawn to you. When I did that visualization that I told you guys about in the beginning of seeing yourself as this descended magnificent being that knows that it's a magnificent being coming down and having this earth experience, I thought to myself, how is that person living? How is she manifesting? She's not doing anything. Things are literally just automatically coming to her. Things are automatically working out for her. She's not efforting to get anything. She's not efforting in action. She's not efforting energetically. She's not trying and trying and trying. She's not going and seeking and seeking and seeking. She is in, it's more of a state of mind of literally an understanding that every single thing that can is working out for me right now. Every single thing that I want is coming to me right now, and being and dwelling in that state of consciousness. And what that allows is for things to simply easily flow into your life naturally, to where you're not having to try and force and try and make. And so when you try and force and try and make, like, that's coming from another, like a lower state of consciousness, which is nothing wrong with that, right? Because we're meant to experience all of this shit, right? We descended from the highest state of consciousness to come down into like the lowest state of consciousness to just do this little dance, this little ride of going up and down, right? So in the lower states of consciousness, this is when we first wake up and we're like, oh, it's the technique. The technique is, what's going to solve this for me. The specific affirmation, the specific meditation, the specific this is what's going to cause it. And then that's when you keep checking, 3D. Oh, like, I got to see, like, is this actually working? Hydrocarious. I have to see, is this working? Like, or I don't know if anything is working. Like, I don't know if I'm doing anything right. Like, it's all about action on that state of consciousness. It's all, it moves from physical action in your reality of like, oh, I want more money in my life. So, I'm going to get 3 jobs, right? We move into manifestation. We're like, oh, okay, I want more money in my life. So I'm going to do these sets of techniques, right? And then, we move from that to just being, right? But then we move even from that of just being into this state of consciousness and awareness of everything is literally working out for me, period. Everything is working out for me automatically because of who I am, what I am, right? Because of what I am, because of what I'm emanate, because I am a goddess, because I am a magnificent being, because I'm aware that truthfully, I'm not just a human, that I'm much more than that. I'm much more expanded than that, and nothing is impossible to me. I know and expect, right? And that's something right there, you guys, expectation, that a lot of people a lot of people are starting with this without any faith at all, right? Which is why I be talking to you guys about that. And that just makes it so much harder for you, because when you don't have faith in anything, then you're relying on your own self. You're relying on your experiences, your perspective, your limits, your blocks to make something happen for you. When you can have faith and understand that things are working on your behalf, you can trust the process and not have to force the process or doubt the process or be concerned about the process at all, right? But coming into that higher state of consciousness, it's so funny. I'm going to tell you guys what happened, and then I'm going to hop off. But like this morning, I woke up, and really, honestly, you guys, like, this is why I'm telling you guys that this can be instant. It doesn't have to take long. It honestly doesn't take long. It's an instantaneous shift, right? And if you watch this whole I was about to say movie. If you watch this whole video, then you should experience at least a little bit of a shift, and intending that you experience a big shift by understanding and internalizing what I'm telling you guys. But anyway, so when I woke up this morning, I was feeling maybe like a 5, maybe a 6, out of 10. And to be honest, you guys, most mornings that I wake up, I'm between like a 5 and a 7. Like, I don't wake up feeling like, oh, wow, amazing, but number one, I wasn't concerned, because I know that I can get myself to a 10, right? Before I step foot out of this house today, I can get myself to a 10, right? So I'm not concerned that I'm at a 5 right now when I wake up, right? So anyways, I knew that and I did this meditation and it was so freaking lit. I honestly should probably link it in the description for you guys. And I was literally, my guides told me, like, led me right to it. But it was like, in that moment, my consciousness expanded so much, you guys, just in that 30 minutes of doing that meditation. Like, my consciousness expanded so much. I wasn't even going to talk about this. Like, I made a video on here and a video on TikTok. And side note, follow me on TikTok, you guys, because I want to get to 1,000 followers on there so that I can go live on TikTok too. And also subscribe and like the video and comment if you haven't. Yes, but I was like the ideas in my head, I knew I was gonna record today, but my ideas were completely different ideas than what I'm actually talking about. Like, my consciousness had expanded so much just in that moment. And before I did the meditation, my guides had been telling me what I'm telling you guys, that when I I was watching something and they were like, ask your guides, oh, it's a meditation. They were like, ask your guides, what's one thing that you could like do to connect with them better, right? And I asked my guides and they were like, you could trust us more. And I was like, damn, I thought I made a lot of progress with trust, because I did. Like, trust was honestly really hard for me, right? And they were like, yeah, but you could trust us more. Like, and what they were telling me was, instead of worrying about what to do, right? They've been showing me this and piecing this together for me for like weeks now. But instead of worrying so much about what I need to do, not even worry about, but put your attention on raising your state of consciousness. And by raising your state of consciousness, you are going to be an energetic match to every single thing, to just a literal overall improved experience. So this is happening automatically, right? Because your reality is a reflection of yourself, right? Your reality is a reflection of yourself. So the level that you're at, even when you're shifting in parallel realities, you're shifting in parallel realities that you can conceive of at the moment that you're at, the consciousness that you're at. So what you can conceive of at the consciousness that you're at may not even be all that damn great, right? But when you raise your consciousness now you can perceive of even higher, more expansive, bigger, more abundant realities, right? That you can tap into. So I am intending that this helps you guys. I know that it does. Let me read. Yeah, he says, big fact, spiritual being, living a human experience. Exactly. Jacari said you don't use TikTok. That's okay. But for you guys that do use TikTok, I'm Master Manifestors on there too. Well, no, it's in the description. So I love you guys. I hope you guys have an amazing week. I'm going to be in Florida with my family. So I don't think I'll be going live. Maybe if I get the intuition to, I will. But I'm going to be trying to enjoy my family. I may go live tomorrow. I don't know. But I love you guys so freaking much. I intend that you guys have a beautiful day, that blessings unfold for you today, that something that you've been wanting for a long time appears in your experience today. I'm sending you guys so much love, and I will see you guys